What is up, internet? I am Reese, and if you know me at all, if you're subscribed to my channel, you already know that. And I just want to welcome myself back because I haven't been so active in this channel, but still thank you for being here. Last March 30, 2021, I just released my first single from my second album, #Reese second album, and it's called What Is This Feeling? With a question mark. And I released it everywhere on social media, on streaming sites, and on YouTube. And you've given it so much love. I love this song, and I've been so excited to let everybody hear this. The song is actually old. It was written in August of 2018. The day I actually wrote this was the 19th death anniversary of my dad. Morbid, but it just so happened that I just had a definite sound in my head. I had a chord progression in my head, and when I went down, play the piano, the keyboard, it was just there. The moments where I would write a song in one sitting is very rare to come by these days, and this song just happened for me like that. I remember finishing this song and just feeling so triumphant. I was bursting. I was ready to tell everybody, and I knew that this was going to be a part of my second album. And getting to my second album was a really long process for me. If you guys are new to this space at all, if you guys are new to this space at all, I released my debut album called Arigato Internet last December 6, 2015. And that's a long time ago already. I have released since 2 EPs and a couple of singles, but the album has always been such a big trophy item for me. Like, just because an album is a whole story, you know, you get to tell a whole story and you get to show a whole world to other people. But it took me a long time to get to the point where I had the songs that I was happy with and that I was proud of. More on that in some other video, but I'm here to talk about What Is This Feeling, and I'm here to analyze the lyrics of it. It's gonna be like a rip-off of a popular YouTube series. You know which one.
Do you recognize this? There's a spring in my step as I walk through the door. Do you know it at all? My feet are lighter than before.
I started this song with very strong imagery from the get-go because that was how I imagined joy. That was how I saw happiness in my head. It's just that feeling of lightness. It's that feeling of leaping and floating and moving around and just being excited and just so carefree. It's almost like a child when somebody is in like a really good mood, or in some instances when people are in love. You hear it in the movies or in TV shows all the time. There's like that glow in you. Something's different about you. That's kind of the aura that I want to convey. There's a change, a lightness to you that people see.
I don't know if you've ever noticed, but I've forgotten my breathing since he let me go.
Who is he?
And now I think I can see with my eyes. I'm growing my wings so I could fly.
Growing my wings. This is a theme that you will see and hear in my album when it comes out on May 30. To me, growing your wings takes a lot of time. You know how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly? It takes time. Like, it has to incubate, it has to like transform in its cocoon. That line to me signifies going through a particularly formative time. You're going through different motions to finally have the wings to free you and liberate you. That line to me just signifies the passing of time and being better for it.
And I could feel it changing me. I'm dancing with my bare feet on the ground. I've never ever felt this free. Oh.
During my listening party for what is this feeling? I did a survey and asked people what their what the lines that struck them were, and I've never ever felt this free. Oh, was one of the most common answers. And I never thought that that would be a line that would strike people. I thought it was just like a very generic throwaway, I'm free kind of line, but I didn't really mean anything metaphoric about it or anything. But I guess the most simple lines shine through. I guess especially in the pandemic, we felt physically and mentally and emotionally imprisoned by the circumstances. I'm just interpreting what you guys are thinking of. There's something cathartic about hearing a song that's claiming its freedom through the words. I've never ever felt this free. So I think that's why it resonated with a lot of people. I could feel a change in me. There's a self-awareness that comes with transformation. I think that's beautiful. That's great that you know and you feel it. That means it's that big and that important.
I feel it inside, it's burning in my chest. It's crawling out of every open wound on my flesh. What is this feeling? What is this feeling? What is this feeling? How could this be? Oh.
One of my favorite lines in this whole song is, it's crawling out of every open wound on my flesh. Love that line. To me, crawling out of every open wound. These wounds are your vulnerabilities. These wounds are your past trauma. And it may come from different places and things and experiences, but by nature of it being an open wound, it's still there. It's still on your skin and it's still visible. But then out of it comes that like overflowing feeling of euphoria and joy and excitement, and just like you can't contain it. It's almost like you're bursting, and it's even coming out of your wounds, of the things that used to hurt you. And that image to me is so powerful and gory at the same time. But like, I love that line. Props to 2018 Reese, who wrote that.
What is this feeling? What is this feeling? What is this feeling? How could this be? Oh.
When I was writing this, I actually contemplated on naming that feeling. What is this feeling? Could this be blank? But I realized that it's absolutely taking away the magic of the ambiguity of the song, the magic of having you think about what you're feeling. That'll all be lost. So thank God I just went with oh. Could this be oh? And that is enough.
Can you explain this? There's a grace in my walk as my heels hit the floor.
The imagery of lightness and exuberance continues in the second verse. It follows the same pattern more or less, but it's just worded differently. There's a grace in my walk as my heels hit the floor. Again, when you see a person that's just beaming with happiness, you can see it manifesting in every way possible, especially physically. There's like a glow in their aura and their presence. That's what I wanted to convey in those verses.
Do you have a name for this? When you feel like you're floating away, but it's so hard to say what it is.
Yeah, do you have a name for this when it feels like you're floating away? I remember when I finished this song during that night, I recorded it on my phone and I kept listening to it over and over again, and I was dancing to the song demo in our living room. I was just so happy. My happiness at that time had a form, and it became that song for me. When I hear What Is This Feeling, it just reminds me of how potent happiness could be. That kind of happiness that could be embodied into something that everyone could experience, like a song, you know?
I don't know if you've ever noticed the rush of blood to my face wherever you go.
Who is you?
And now I think I can see with my eyes. I'm going my ways just so I could fly.
Again, with that strong imagery, the rush of blood to your face, like, you know, color rises and it's visibly manifesting on your face when you feel intense feelings. So So now we come to the bridge part, which is my favorite part. I feel like this is a combination of a lot of my musical influences. When I released this song, I got a lot of comments about it sounding like Taylor Swift or Haim. Some even said Paramore or Hayley Williams, and I was surprised because I wasn't consciously thinking of Paramore being an influence, but I was listening to After Laughter a lot during those times because that was the year and the month when I opened for Paramore in SMO Arena. So I found it interesting that people pointed all those influences out because they are important female figures in my musical journey. I hear a lot of early Taylor Swift in this bridge. The earnestness for me of this bridge reminds me of her country era, I think. The phrasing of this song is also something that I guess I can attribute to Haim because that's something that I've always loved about their songs. Like, they're very percussive because their songs are just they just slap.
And I never wanna lose this feeling. I just wanna keep on flying above all the city lights high.
Let me just break this bridge down one by one. You know, when you're just in that happy state, you're looking down on everything, on all the other things that used to bother you, on all the other people that used to hurt you, and now you're just like, you're above it, you're floating above it, you're just observing it. You're acknowledging your hurt, you're acknowledging your pain, but you're no longer tethered to it. That was my way of thinking when I wrote that. I want to keep on seeing the world through this vantage point. I just want to keep being above it all.
And I have always gone believing that if I keep a good head and a good heart, then I won't fall down.
That has got to be one of my favorite lines that I've ever written. Actually, when I was recording this in the studio, I got really emotional when I got to this line because it's like a personal mantra for me at this point. I feel like I always have to remind myself, if you just continue being kind, having a good heart, good intentions, being good to people around you, you will never lose. Everyone who feels like the world is being so tough on them, just continue being yourself, being the good person that you are, and I promise you that luck and love and goodness will be by your side. Please remember that, because I always need to remind myself that as well.
And I never want to lose this feeling. I just want to keep on walking on clouds, hear the truth from my mouth.
There's this saying called walking on cloud nine when you are particularly happy and euphoric. So that's sort of where that came from. Hear the truth from my mouth. It's just me saying that, believe me, because I am experiencing it. It's happening to me, and it can happen to you too. This song can apply to many different stages of your life. Whether you just found your forever love. A friend of mine actually messaged me. She's about to get married. We talked about how this song fits the season of her life so well. It just fits. It can also apply if you're single and if you have never been in a relationship like I haven't. You're just recognizing the power in you to make yourself happy and to lift yourself up. And I think that this song is just for everyone. The message of this song is just the chase for that freedom, purity, that happiness, and that bliss that comes with the recognition that you are no longer shackled by the things that used to weigh you down. This song just shows that I'm not afraid to be naive every now and then. Even at my age, I'm still idealistic. I still believe in goodness. I still believe in the goodness of the world. So that is What Is This Feeling. I am just so happy to be able to share my thoughts and my stories behind this song. If you haven't listened to What Is This Feeling yet, I'll link it up in the card and down below and in the end screen, and you can stream it everywhere, wherever you get your music, on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Bandcamp, Deezer, etc., etc. You know the drill. stream What Is This Feeling, and my second album is coming out on May 30th, 2021. Please, please, please follow me on my social media accounts, linked down below: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I will be uploading so many things. Hashtag Reese second album. This album is something that I'm really, really proud of, and I cannot wait to share everything with you guys. Please follow me there so you are updated on everything, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Mwah.